What is going on, guys? I'm Nick, and today we're taking a look at a case from Andar. Of course, you can tell from the side, it is not going to be an iPhone case, which is what we're usually looking at, but we have looked at Andar in the past. Instead, it's going to be a little bit different, and let me just go ahead and pull this off for you so I can give you guys a look. This one is called the Helm, and it is another very nice leather case from Andar. Before we get into the case, I do want to say it does come in this kind of canvasy burlap feeling. I don't want to call it a sack. It's more like a bag with a little drawstring over on the top, which is completely functional. You can pull it just like that and then open it up again. I have been using this as kind of a laptop sleeve during my testing, just because I've been a little afraid to mess up the leather that the case is actually made of. But it's just nice to know that this is included with your purchase. But put this to the side and we can move over to the case itself, which is right here. This is going to be the Helm from Andar. As you can see, this is going to be the brown variant, and it is an extremely nice leather case. It is a hard shell case, so it's not going to be flopping around or anything like that. And this is for the 14-inch MacBook Pro. I have the 14-inch variant. They do make it for a ton of different MacBooks and different sizes, so there's a good chance that they've got you covered. But let's go ahead and take a look at the case before we snap it onto the laptop and I tell you about the fit and everything like that. So before we jump the gun, the price is going to be up on the screen right here in the middle, just so you guys are aware. Now let's take a look at this, starting with the top. Of course, this is just going to be the leather, full grain leather right here, and you can see it keeps that very natural look to it. There's not any special coatings on the top that's there to protect or anything like that. It's a very natural looking leather. We do get a little bit of Andar branding right here, which I don't really mind. It is embossed so you can feel it, and I feel like that just adds to the actual quality of the case itself. But looking over at the inside, it is covered in this very nice kind of microfiber soft felt lining, as you can see right there, so you don't have to worry about it scratching your MacBook or anything like that. And then something that we're going to come back to soon once we snap the case on is all these little clips. Of course, it needs a way to hold itself against the MacBook itself, and it uses these little kind of metal clips, so you can definitely trust that once they're on, they're going to stay on. You don't have to worry about it popping off or anything like that. Looking over at the bottom piece of the case, on the inside we do have a little bit more branding right here. As you can see, full grain leather, super nice to see that. And of course, they kept that very nice soft material over on the inside, and you can see there are little divots in all four corners, which are there for the feet of the MacBook Pro. And then of course we get more clips, as you can see right there, all black metal clips. Super nice to see that. Looking over at the bottom, of course they keep that quality with the leather. And the feet on here, they're not a rubber material, they're actually very soft, which I was a little worried about at first because I thought that would lead to a lot of sliding, but they actually have a very surprising amount of grip, so there's no issues with it sliding around or anything like that. And they're pretty stiff. There's not a whole ton of cushion to them or anything, so in case that's something you're interested in, definitely something to take note of. Taking a look at that leather just one more time, definitely a very nice appreciation for it. Just look at the texture in this. It's something that's definitely going to patina very well, and I have no worries about. We do have a little bit of Andar branding right here, but again, that's going to be on the bottom. So I'm surprised Andar even put branding down there. It is on the bottom of the laptop, but just in case you want to show that off or when you're carrying it around, it is going to be down there. There you go. Now that we've taken a look at the case, I do want to grab the MacBook itself and we'll snap it right on. I'm going to set this piece up here. And here is the 14-inch MacBook Pro. This is the M1 version. I didn't feel the need to upgrade, but it's been working me really well. And of course, if you have the M1, M2, the M3 that's soon to be released, those are all going to be pretty much the same dimensions, but they will fit, so nothing to worry about there. And something that I wanted to mention is that on the top I don't have a skin on, but the bottom of my laptop I do have a skin down here, and I did that on purpose to see if this case would fit, if it was skin friendly or anything like that. For those of us out there running skins and you want a case, maybe you're worried it doesn't fit or anything like that, this case, I can happily say it is skin friendly. So I like to start with the bottom so those clips can grab on. And we can just make sure, you can see right here, those clips grab onto the bottom right here, and then you can just snap the rest of the case in around. You can hear it's a very nice snap, very snug fit. And here's where you can see how thin the case actually is. Of course, it is going to be a little thicker than some of those plastic cases just because of the fact that it is leather. You can't really make this case super thin or anything like that, but it's not an extreme amount of thickness that's being added, so it's definitely not something I worry about, and I actually kind of enjoy it. So before I put the top on, I do want to go ahead and open it up for you so that you can see the inside. Now here's where you can see those metal clips and how well they really grip on. Something that I was worried is that since they're metal or a harder material, maybe they'd scratch the material of the MacBook itself, the aluminum, but definitely happy to say that has not happened at all. I've been testing this case for about 2, maybe going on 3 weeks now, and it is super nice to see that it is taking very good care of my MacBook itself. So let's go ahead and throw the top on before we go into any more detail. It's going to be the bottom piece. Slides on just like this. I have found that these clips on the top piece are a little bit more stubborn, but I'm not going to complain about that because that just goes to show that it is not going to be letting go of my MacBook. So snap everything on all the way, and there we go. Just see, I think this one, there you go. You can definitely hear that click. So when you're putting the case on, you know that it's on correctly. And there it is. This is the case completely on the MacBook, as you can see right there. And I do want to see just the inside. You can definitely take note of how it looks over on the inside. And it is a super slim, it's fairly minimal, especially for being a leather case. You don't see a ton of it protruding out to the sides or anything. Of course, since this is the brown one, you see that brown color. But if you have maybe the black one, it's just going to blend into the MacBook a little bit more, I'd feel. But that is pretty much talking about color. Looking at the sides of the MacBook case, you can see just how well the coverage is. You can see there's no gap in between the two pieces of the case. They do meet very well. Looking over down here by the ports, we don't have individual cutouts or anything like that. It gives you just enough space to access everything here, and I'm really glad that they went with more of an open cutout space here, because now you don't have to worry about maybe your cable doesn't fit in that little port cutout or anything like that. So I definitely prefer to see the open space like this. Looking over at the back, we do have more exposed areas on the corners, as you can see here, because this back piece is just flat. As you can see right there, it doesn't come up, but since the top comes down like this, I definitely feel like that's offering the same amount of protection you'd be getting even if the bottom did come up. So as you can see right here, the top piece does also have this little extension that comes down kind of towards the center of the MacBook. It definitely helps cover everything up. And then over on the other side, it's pretty much identical, an open space for all of your ports right here, and you don't have to worry about anything kind of getting blocked. The same thing for the corner, bit more exposed, but really not something that I would worry about. Now, a case like this, something that everyone asks, even people that have seen me using this in public, is how long does it take for my laptop to overheat? And that is something I can happily say has never happened to me with this case on. It hasn't happened to me, period, but I do monitor my temps regularly, and I haven't seen any spikes or any changes really when it comes to using this leather case. You can see down here, there are cutouts for your exhaust fans right here, and that is going to be identical on both sides. So they did keep airflow in mind, and I feel like that's why they kept the bottom piece so open, is because now this back vent right here has pretty much all the space it had even before the case was on. This case, it is a little bit thicker, so I understand that being a worry. I know how people can get when it comes to heat and computer hardware. It's definitely not a good mix, but when it comes to this case, it is not something I worry about at all. And due to that thickness of the case, yes, it is a little thicker, but it's one of the only cases that I feel might save my laptop from a drop. Of course, there's no real drop rating when it comes to cases and laptops, at least none that I've found. But if I have to test my laptop in a drop test with a case on, and it'd be this one between one of those plastic ones that you can pick up off of Amazon, things like that, I would definitely go with this one. That is pretty much going to be it for this case, guys. This is going to be the brown Helm case from Andar, but they have a ton of different colors. They have a jet black, a moss green, a kind of stone gray color. There's a ton of colors for this thing, which is really nice to see since you don't really see a lot of colors when it comes to leather cases, but definitely one of my favorites and one that I'm going to continue using. Let me know what you guys think about this brown color, and for those of you that stuck around to the end, I do have an affiliate link down in the description below. It's going to take you to Andar's website. It does help support the channel, and that's why I'm mentioning it to you guys. I feel like the ones that are sticking on to the end are the main supporters. You guys help me keep making these videos, and you help me make sure that the channel stays alive. But that's it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think about this case down below in the comments, and if you would run a case like this, or if you run any MacBook cases at all. Maybe you just use a skin, something like that. Really curious to know all of your guys' opinions, especially on this one. That's it for this one, guys. Remember to subscribe. Remember to hit that like button. Helps me out a ton. And I'll see y'all in the next one.